For the next 7 days, I will not wear shoes, and it's all because of this guy.
They call him the Barefoot Dutchman.
He's called Anton, and he's walking 4,000 kilometers across America completely barefoot to raise money for men's mental health, which is a huge challenge for an incredible cause. 6 years ago, I quit wearing normal shoes for thinner, more flexible barefoot shoes. At the time, I was having all kinds of knee and foot pain, and I'd heard from a friend of mine that barefoot shoes might help, and in my case, they did. But I want to figure out if getting rid of shoes altogether, like nature intended, makes sense, or if our ancestors were really onto something 40,000 years ago when they started strapping bark to their foot. So today officially marks day 1 of the challenge, and so far my feet are looking pretty good. They've got no calluses. I have got a few scrapes on them from surfing. If you've been subscribed to the channel for a while, I've managed to talk Maddie into trading Canada for Bali for a few years to help us save up for our wedding. So that's the challenge, and next thing is to go off and do it. The first stop on this challenge is the gym, and yes, I clean my feet before going in. It's pretty well known now that being barefoot is great for training. Normal trainers have got a lot of cushioning and a narrow toe box which pinches your toes together. It makes it way harder to balance, but when you're barefoot or in barefoot shoes like the ones I've linked in the description, your toes spread out and you can feel the floor. It just makes you much more stable. I did a video explaining it in more detail up here. I was really happy with how these went, especially this one, even with that distraction. After, I did some box compressions, but had to use a towel to stop the top of my feet getting ripped off on the wood. These are horrible. And we finished off the session with some handstand holds. I managed to talk my friend out of his shoes, and I tried doing a press. Not terrible for 105 kilos. After I finished the session, it was time to head home to get some work done. And then I finished off the day walking Bruce down on the beach. The total distance today was about 6 kilometers. My plan is to scale up the intensity and the distance of the textures over the next few days, so watch this space. So it's currently 5:30 in the morning on day 2, and I have already got a problem with this challenge. Turns out I've got to go down to a different part of the island today on the scooter, and I just don't feel comfortable doing that barefoot. I've come off motorbikes in the past, and you definitely want protection on your feet. It's only going to be for about an hour, 2 hours by the time I get back, so I don't think it's going to compromise challenge much, but I want to be transparent about it. So the goal now is to go down to a place called Uluwatu. I'm going to be doing some coaching down there this morning, but then as soon as I'm back, shoes off and on with the challenge. So the past few days have been insanely busy, and I've barely had any time to film, but basically every day I've been walking on different surfaces, going to restaurants. I even went to a barbershop barefoot. But I've gotten to the stage where I need a bit more of a challenge. My feet are definitely feeling sore, especially after walking on a concreted gravel walkway yesterday. But I don't really think I've really tested or come close to finding my limit just yet. So today I'm going to be embracing my inner Anton. He walks anywhere from 15 to 25 kilometers a day. So that's going to be my goal, somewhere in that bracket. It gets pretty hot here, so I'm going to do half it now while it's still kind of cool, and the other half later on this afternoon when it properly cools down. Hey little bud. First kilometre down. So the general idea is to walk from where I live, which is a place called Barefoot, over towards Perinan. I want to do the majority of it on road, so I'm just skirting alongside the beach at the moment, but I'm also going to be dipping on and off the road just to give my feet a bit of a break as we go. I've already managed to slice my toe open. I'm not really sure on what, but it's stinging a fair bit. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issues, but pushing on regardless. We're back on the road now off the beach, and yeah, just tabbing up. Feet are definitely starting to feel a lot hotter, so I'm just going to keep pushing for as long as I can. Another couple of Ks in the bag, and now we're back onto beach 2, which is Echo Beach, which is just over there, and where I went surfing this morning. This is Echo Beach, and that break there is where I was surfing this morning. And the plan now is to head down to that statue and then back up and in onto the road. Hey bud. It's pretty cool. It's a beach path. Sorry bro. Although it might be a road, what were those boys going down it? So we've come from down there, we've gone inland, down the road, back onto the beach, inland, on the road, back onto the beach, and now we're looping up and round over this big river, and then a bit further down and round here is a beach called Perenam, and then we should be about well over halfway, and the walk back begins. Hey bud. We're out by the rice paddies now, still on road, and we've actually got some cloud cover now, which means I can keep on walking even though it is 11:30 in the morning. It should be scorching. I'm gonna keep pushing on. Walking back the way we came. T-shirt's gonna have to go on, or I'm gonna be burnt to a fucking crisp by the end of this. It's getting fucking hot now, so hats out. I just got a little iced latte to cool me down. Still about 2 kilometers away from home, and as you can probably tell, it's starting to get really busy, and it's getting really hot underfoot as well, and it's fucking roasting. Literally in the traffic. Trying to weave my way through. Sorry. There's home, and I've never been more pleased to be coming down this alley. My feet are sore. Pretty sure they're pretty well cut up. It's fucking roasting. I'm definitely dehydrated and sunburnt, but feeling very accomplished. Today is the last day of the challenge, and here are 4 things that I've learned from the experience as a non-hippie. Number 1 is walking barefoot is not as relaxing as the hippies make it look on TV. Yes, you do feel incredibly connected to your environment, especially true when you're walking on surfaces that aren't man-made, so things like grass or sand or anything like that. But the constant changes in texture and friction, it absolutely forces you to stay very present. I constantly had to adjust my stride, my tempo, and if I forgot, I got punished. And a really good example of that was when I split my heel open walking on the road because my stride was just a little bit too long and I was just landing on my heels. 2, because of that, you spend so much more time just looking down at the ground. Maybe this would have been easier if I'd been in a country like the US, where they tend to actually clean the streets, but being where I am, I just had to focus really, really hard not to step on a rusty nail or a shard of glass, so much so that I couldn't just chill out and take in my environment. And even though I was very dialed in to almost every step, I still have got a good few slices out of my feet. 3, no matter what, gravel always sucks, and concreted gravel is legitimately worse than Lego. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments, but be aware you are wrong. 4, our ancestors absolutely had the right idea. I've really enjoyed the past week, and off the back of it, I'm definitely going to be spending some more time properly barefoot. But there are a few very good reasons why barefoot shoes exist. You get the flash, but not the bang. So all the textures, the connection, all of that is there. It's built into the shoe, but without the discomfort. I actually went back to my arch nemesis, the concreted gravel strip, but this time I went in my Primus Lites, which are from a company called VivoBarefoot. The sole on them is actually only 4mm thick. They're insanely flexible, and it felt quite nice. Another perk is that when you wear them, you don't have to run for cover when it gets too hot or too cold, and no surface is off limits because you can walk without fear of being impaled. In 6 years, nothing has ever made it through the sole of one of my Barefoot shoes, and I've done some really stupid shit in them. So to summarize the past 7 days, Anton is insane. Definitely try going a day without shoes for the experience, but listen to your ancestors, get some Barefoot shoes if you want the experience long term without the pain. Consider subscribing to the channel if you've enjoyed this video. Check out the information in the description below to see how you can support Anton's journey. I don't actually personally know him, and this isn't a sponsored video. I just think he's doing an incredible thing. So please make sure that you check him out and let him know that I sent you. Also, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment below if you've got any questions, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.